Welcome, beautiful people, to another episode of Erotic Wisdom. And I'm your host, Mrs. Love. And today the Laboratory of Love is taking place beside a magnificent green pool reflecting a blue sky in a retreat venue in Michalisburg near Johannesburg called Kadhesha. And I am having the honor of sitting alone with one of the facilitators that I had to share with so many other people throughout this time here. I'm taking a training. It's the ISTA level 2. It's the ISTA training, sexual shamanic teaching. And so I kidnap for a moment this beautiful, powerful, insightful woman, and she's sitting right in front of me under a beautiful tree. You're like a vision, like a she Buddha. You look like Lala the Buddha. And I'm here with Michal.
Yes.
Can I call you just by
Michal?
Michal.
Yes.
Is good? You want to say your surname?
My name is Michal Maayan, and surname is Don. But Michal is perfect.
Michal is perfect,
yes.
Because during this training we also had shamanic names, which I'm not going to disclose now. And I am honored in many, many ways to be with Michal. First of all, because I do see this embodiment of erotic wisdom in you.
Thank you.
And receiving your sharing is a blessing. And also because when I'm thinking about the listener of this podcast, we just had recently an interview with Leonard and we spoke about his book, Jump. And in one chapter of the book, which is a chapter that I particularly loved, because in the chapter, he meets you.
Yeah.
And he comes and spends time with you. Mm-hmm. And in the book, you go under a pseudonymous, I think it's called an artist name, an author name. Yeah. And you go under Priestess Sharon. Mm-hmm. And what I loved when he meets you in the book, that finally there is a breather. Because the book got a very fast pace. He goes to so many countries and he meets and he learns and then he comes to meet you. And I, as a woman, when I was reading the book, finally I took a deep, deep breath. There was space. And
it's funny you say that.
Yeah, because it felt this is the teaching of the deep feminine, the sexuality teaching. It's this deep breath when we stop a lot of doing, and suddenly there was space, and I could sense he calmed down, he surrendered.
Yeah, and it's funny you said that, because I told him, listen, you make your reader run really fast, like give them a break to take a breath. Like before you really get what is happening, and so much intensity is happening in the book, here comes another one, and here comes another one. And I didn't realize from a reader point of view that the stay in Israel with me kind of was a break. And you're giving me an interesting perspective.
Yeah, he stopped. Yeah. He came it felt for me, he came into the embrace with she. Yeah. The feminine embraced him, and he stopped the doing, the masculine search for knowledge, and he surrendered in the opening of this lovemaking. Yeah. And I don't know if you want to share with us a little bit.
I'm an open book, open bed.
Because it's beautiful. Like you, what I gather is that you taught with your sexuality was your textbook. Yeah. Your teaching is your embodied sexuality. Mm-hmm. So what does it mean for you, if you had to describe that to someone that is listening? What is
the embodied sexuality?
The essence of your teaching. The essence of your teaching, and how, when you take it across through your body with a lover. I mean, he was spoken that.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for the question. First, I want to say that it was so beautiful to witness and also to read in the book that he met me, but through that meeting and that journey, he met his feminine and his inner sacred feminine lover. So it was a lot about me, but I can forever say that Priestess Sharon that is an aspect of Leonard. an aspect of the masculine, an aspect of the men going on a journey, on a search, meeting sacred sexuality, and then meeting the sacred feminine within. So this was beautiful, because it was a deep journey together. What's the essence of my teaching, of my journey? Oh wow, that's a very interesting question. I tend to research human connection. That's my and people coming together in their power and sharing power. So like I'm in a journey of research and developing the new tribe, the new tribal wisdom of humanity, which can rely on the old wisdom, but needs to come together in a new way. And it has to, discovering the new form of relating in tribes and in societies has to come to start from coming back to our power. And we have lost or losing or we deny so much of our sexual power. So we can never create society that are based on sharing power and not on overpowering each other, unless we claim back our sexual power, and then we can really try something new here on this planet. So basically, I'm a peace activist, but my own very personal life story took me on a journey of deep healing, with deep separation that my suppressed sexuality caused in my life. So I had to heal that separation. It appeared in my husband divorced me when I was 33 with a 3-year-old girl, and he divorced me because I didn't have sexual drive, absolutely nothing. And I lost it. I never had it. I don't know. And I was in awe with what was happening. And I realized that this outer separation is my inner separation from the feminine, from the body, from the separation of heart and sex, separation of mind and body. So much separation that I had to take myself on a major journey with my sexuality and my femininity. And so my life consequences brought me to eventually teach sacred sexuality. So on some level, it was a long journey of becoming a sacred sexuality priestess. And on the same time, I think I was born into this life mission. And there were many clues throughout along the way, but I didn't notice. But
sometimes I heard a teacher saying that what we come here to look for get indicated by what we lack of. So you may come here to express your sexual priestess power in the world, and so the beginning of your life journey was devoid of that.
My power is the healing. I'm not healing others, healing myself.
Exactly.
And I can only radiate my journey. And the wisdom that I gained, it's not being born with this wisdom, or we are all born with memories and the wisdom, and we're all born with immense sexual power, but we are all neglecting it. And so my journey was healing myself. My journey was healing myself with the support of others, with the support of tribe. My healing, so I can only radiate what I've been through. And I'm in a position where I can hold a hand to whoever has their sexuality suppressed or in whichever condition, and say, hey, give me your hand, let's go together, because I have the power to change and shift, and I've experienced a lot of painful times and a lot of agony throughout the journey, and still going through it. Like, you know, I have clinic and my practice and my groups, mostly with women. Most years it was sexuality groups with women, and I find that the women come to my clinic, 50% of them are women who had no sexual drive, and their sexuality is poor, and their sexual power is they need to go find it. And the other half, which are the women that I'm really jealous of, are the ones that were born with huge, immense sexual drive, and they had to control it, and it only brought trouble and problem, and so they suppressed their sexuality, and I need to find my sexuality, kind of. So it's crossroads meeting. But where we meet is in a lot of social conditions around feminine and feminine sexuality and masculine sexuality, and and
I also find in there is a very fine line into unleashing the sexual power, and yet make sure that doesn't overpower everything else.
Wow.
You know, because sometimes I notice when women become sexually empowered, they're actually still manipulating their sexuality into taking power. So maybe you want to share with me, you know, what is the quality for you of sexual empowerment? What does it mean to be in one's sexual power?
It means not denying your power. And each and every woman and each and every body has their own unique sexual powers. You know, I'm really cautious. I'm trying to be cautious not to play a game of trying to show women and people how sexual freedom looks like. My sexual freedom looks like this. Okay, I'm very open, very honest, very vibrant, very dark. My feminine is very dark, or can be dark, but that's just my way. That's just the way this current is manifested through the unique way that I am. And for each woman and for each culture and for each man and for each embodied sexual flow, it can manifest different. And you know, today in the training we worked on this, so many ways of expressions that we can be. You know, I had this. I was making love with. I had a partner once that he used to tell me, "I feel tired sometimes with being your partner, because every time we make love, I feel I make love to a different being." I don't know who am I. So I think in some levels, every man knows the feeling that, okay, I'm waking up next to this woman in the morning. I know her. I don't know her. I don't know who I'm gonna wake up next tomorrow.
Yeah,
because she's ever changing.
Yeah.
So I think one of the principles of the feminine is that she's ever changing, and so yeah. But
and it's to be in truth, and you know, from what you're saying is, you know, you answer the question of what it means to be sexually empowered is to know what is your true authentic expression
at the moment,
in the moment, in every moment,
yeah.
And not to try to be like someone else, and not to try to be what we are not, because then becomes manipulative.
Yeah.
And I think that's the shadow of feminine sexuality, that in one side can be so free and celebratory, and on the other hand can also become quite manipulative, you know, and in seductive way.
Seduction is beautiful as long as we don't take ourselves too seriously.
Exactly.
As long as, like, the wisest thing that a spiritual teacher ever told me is don't take yourself too seriously. And once. And the manipulation and all the heavy stuff comes because when we play our sexuality in the game of relating, and we are so stressed with relating because our happiness and freedom is in, and we hand the power of our joy and our self ease in the hands of others. Okay, and if I'm responsible and I have the tools to bring myself to ease, to confident, to safety, I'm not. I don't depend on anybody else. I just enjoy connecting. So if I want you sexually, because I want to enjoy you, and you don't need to feed me with anything that I cannot feed myself, then everything becomes a beautiful game. Then seduction can be a beautiful game, and
fun
and playful.
Yeah.
I think the most beautiful feminine gift to the world is a smile.
Yeah.
Smiling. If women could only just smile more, the world will be such a happier.
And we got
place.
2 sets of mouths.
Exactly.
We double mouthed.
Happy upper faces, happy lower faces.
Yes.
We have 3 sets of lips.
Lips.
Let's imagine. Like, can you imagine a world with all the yonis smiling, 2 sets of smiles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but seriously.
And sense of humor. I mean, you said it.
Yeah.
I also brought it up in my first podcast ever. I think I channeled something about. I got stuck about the senses. I was describing all the senses, and we're familiar with the 5 senses. And then there is the 6th sense, which speaks for itself. I mean, they're not reported in the book, but 6th sense is the sense of magic. And then the 7th sense is the sense of humor.
Absolutely.
7th sense. And that's
Absolutely.
God.
Absolutely.
When we have a sense of humor, we are one with childlike innocence.
Yeah.
And eroticism needs to belong to childlike innocence.
Yeah, innocence.
And a lot of purity and laughter and oops, this doesn't work. Okay, I'll try something else.
Yeah.
And as you say, we take it so serious.
So seriously.
Our sexual interaction and our like and dislike and too much seriousness around sexuality. And so I don't know if I mentioned this, but we're also sitting here completely naked
under the tree next to the water with the green trees and
we're really childlike here.
Yeah.
And it feels there is the purity of the teaching meets the being when we are naked more immediately. I've always felt this.
I've been working with women for so long, and our body image is such a fucked up issue.
Big one.
The biggest one. Somehow, I don't know, this program was not put in me. I was not programmed to hate my body. Somehow. God was very kind with me, or goddess. But, so I don't have this issue, not a big one. But the only way I found to heal women from fucked up body image issues, is to get them together dancing naked.
Naked. To me too.
10 minutes after, a woman cannot... We become so in love and in awe with the differences of the bodies, and this how magical big thighs are, and how you can look at cellulites and say, wow, it's just life vibration and
abundance.
And abundance,
Fat means there is more of you to love.
And and
also for me, when I am naked, I begin sensing what I feel like, the wind in my skin, and it's no longer what do I look like, but how do I feel from the inside out, and then what I look like, whatever. I don't have to look at myself. I can stop looking at myself and just feel myself. And then nudity gives me so much freedom, even just in this training, like to be, to expose my flesh constantly to nature. I'm already feeling freer than when I arrive on a real deep cellular level.
And it's funny because when people don't experience it, the idea of being naked with other people, it triggers the outer agents, the outer agency that is so busy with I'm looking at myself through the eyes of others, and freaks out the outer agent, and once you actually do it, then you discover the inner agency, just like you said. And I feel myself from the inside. And we live in times that being sexy is all about looks, and nobody teaches us how to feel sexy, how sexuality feels from the inside. And this is what I love about this journey, and about this beautiful field of sexuality and conscious sexuality and sacred sexuality. It doesn't matter how you name it, as long as we learn about eros, erotic education that is from inside. And I feel I'm so honored to be teaching in ISTA and to do all this teaching. And I feel like we live in an era that is going to mark an immense change in culture. And we're pioneers of something really big, and we're pioneers of love.
It feels like that.
Yeah. I really hope we're healing separation and healing love and healing the planet from separation. But so it's not only I teach sacred sexuality, and in the book the priestess is taking Leonard on a journey of sacred sexuality, but it's just because that connection is sacred, and coming together is sacred, and we have the way the sacredness of sexuality is so damaged, and so we start to heal from the bottom.
And I mean, ultimately, if we would, when we all understand the true power of sexuality, exactly, does not even need to call it sacred, because obviously it's so, clearly it is so. It connects us and it creates life, so by all means it cannot be anything else than sacred. And sometimes for me the fact that we have to rename it like that says a lot about where we ended up as humanity, with pornography as an education, and not never speaking where we come from as children, that it's children are holy, but the act of lovemaking is sinful. What the fuck? So I'm caught in between, and that's the inner fight, no? And for me, that's the erotic wisdom. It's when we settle that fight. It's what you spoke about. Come back together, from the little to small to the big, from the cell in my body that the sacred and the profane finally just integrate, and outside of me, people and egoic connectivity that also integrate. That we realize how much we depend on each other for joyful living.
Yes, dependency is beautiful. It can be super, super healthy. And that's the way we are born, dependent, and we die dependent. And we just try to hide it, and not to feel it. And we're just so terrified of how we need it, how much we need each other
to come together in the body, in the being, and in our vulnerability. In this era, there's a lot of individuality, and also this thing of finding my way. And the teaching, sometimes it just comes. One of my tantra teachers, when people were said, they were reflecting about my tantra experience, and he would say, tantra, the teaching is not yours. It belongs to everybody. If it's yours, you already detaching from dropping in the teaching. And trying to be with everybody else in this process of growing.
I get so much inspiration from Africa, from being here. I feel so at home here. It's amazing, and it's such a gift to bring sacred sexuality and conscious sexuality and this work to to this land where I feel at home, and I have no blood connection here, you know.
Oh, maybe you do very long back.
Yeah.
I really feel this is the motherland. It's
Yes,
the
the
cradle
grandmother.
of humanity.
Grandmother.
It's the cradle of humanity in a sense, and I feel for me, you know, I'm born Italian, so.
Yeah.
But I arrived here, and I'm still here after 22 years,
Wow.
and there's a part of me that do feel this is home.
Yes. So I want to share with you a little bit about life force energy.
Yes.
And what I feel that is coming to the field, because there's a lot of teachings that are dealing with healing and healing the inner child and healing the persona, and or dealing with spirit and soul and energies. And what I feel is coming new to surface now is understanding that once we open the resources of our sexuality, we come to realize that we're so much more powerful than we think we are.
Yeah.
And our personality is stronger, and when it's stronger and integrated, then we can cause we can change more, and we can take care of more things, and we can make more money, and we can have better relationships, and the codependency is becoming healthy dependency, so interdependent, and the realization that we are so much more powerful than we think we are. For me, it comes with meeting magical realms, but not as an alternative reality, but as a living reality that is a whole new playground for us to play with.
And is accessible here, right now.
You know, and I think about the name of the book, Jump. Okay? For me, jumping is not just about having the courage, having the right divine timing to do the jump, to believe that that if I will leave everything and jump into the next stage of my being, I will be held not only by the tools I was giving and all the rational things I know that exist. I will be really able to open my wings, because they're there, and open the beautiful feathers of my other body, my magical body. I am so much more. Just like when in the 90s we started understanding that we have the Reiki.
Yes.
Okay, remember? It was so long ago. We never thought we have energies running in our bodies, and then there were people coming from India telling us this flow of life and healing in our hands, and we all went to learn Reiki. Okay, and 10 years
too in the 90s.
Yes, in the 90s, and this leap of faith.
Yes.
Went like this and caught the planet like fire, okay? Like
so right.
Yeah. And then I think 10 years ago we understood we can expand consciousness.
Yes.
And express and expanded consciousness is not just for tripping. Expanded consciousness is embodied.
Yes.
Can be embodied in people.
Yeah.
And when we embodied expanded consciousness, we really start using our extraordinary power and embodying it, and we learn that in lovemaking. That's a beautiful place. So when we jump and we really open our wings and really wave this beautiful tail and really feel that the air can carry us, because it can become more condensed. Because the space between us is alive. Space between us is alive. So I'm not just jumping. It's into magic.
Yeah.
And
into
I live in
the
magic.
hand of the beloved, which is consciousness.
Yes.
Of
waves
the
of
space.
colors, whatever it is. But it's my journey. And And I feel like we're a generation that with all this, we learned that through lovemaking, and we do this immense jumps, and we realize that reality is much bigger, and we do all this plant medicine, and we practice expanding our consciousness, and then we realize there's more. There is so much more, and we practice our power, so we can really dive into a more. There's so much more. There's more reality,
and it's celebratory. You know, when I hear you talking, like also what comes for me is from this healing, this hard work that we have to do, healing the inner child, as you say, and healing my past and healing my wound. Also feel like hard work, and the word healing always give power to the word disease. Broken. Because if
wounded.
I heal, I have to heal something that is not okay.
Yeah.
And when I hear you speaking about life force, what we learn in lovemaking, the power of sexuality, the jump, the wing in my back opening, me being held by the invisible rainbow that suddenly I can see, and they are real. It feels now, it's celebration. Now we're going into the celebratory phase. Also, enough with the healing, enough with the suffering. We can also just celebrate my life force, that it's in my genital, it's spread out from my genital into everything I see and I touch and I taste, and I can get to know that.
Yes.
And if I had an experience that wounded me, took me out of the path of understanding, it's okay. It doesn't have to be the big healing work. It can be, okay, you got the wrong, there was a misunderstanding in your evolution. No problem.
It's okay.
Here is the teaching. Just come look here again. Forget about that wrong education.
Exactly. And come party.
Come party. Come to this one here and see if it resonates with you, and just celebrate what you can get to know now.
Yes.
We can also really let go. And true celebration, because also I don't want to diminish the pain of the wound. I'm not saying that we can just drop it and we're going to be so easy. No. But through dipping into the freedom of celebration and that erotic life force, that alone, through the innocence, erotic joy, will take care of making right where was done wrong.
Exactly.
So
and
that will still happen.
And the pain and the wounds carry a lot of energy, so we can and we can work with the pain as energy. We can work with the fear as energy, and then we discover that desire and fear are just energy with stories. So we can drop the stories, and we need tools to learn how to do it. But start working with the living vibration, the ecstatic living vibration, and that's why sexuality is so important now, because it is easier to teach people ecstasy through integrated sexuality. And in the journey of healing our sexuality and bringing freedom and consciousness to our sexuality, then we mature to meet ecstasy, and then we realize we are ecstatic beings, and we discover it through our sexuality, but then we start learning how to live ecstatic life in everything, in every meeting, in every format, and then we realize how powerful we are, and through the ecstasy of sexuality. And I feel that this is my somehow I was born, with a beautiful gift. I am so empowered, and I was born with a lot of life force energy. And so I went through my shit, and I went through this and that and healing, but I think I can stand there and be a role model for a person in standing with simplicity, in a state of ecstasy, almost all the time. It took me a while to get there, it's obviously, but living life in an ecstatic vibration is the next level. Is the next level.
And I love it that while you're saying this, for the people that are listening, you're surrounded by naked people in ecstasy, playing in the pool and tickling each other.
Can you
and
believe
making
it?
noises. Yeah. And
And just by saying yes to who I am, I live the most amazing, magnificent life.
Yeah. And I'm sure it took some risks as well to say yes to who you are.
Yes.
Did it?
Yeah, a lot. It took...
So maybe we can finish with this pearl, if you want to share, what was the piece for you that gave you the courage to really stand for who you are, so that now you can really ripe this beautiful life that you're living?
Wow, there were so many, but I'll take you to one moment, maybe. So I was going to Tantra therapy with my late Tantra teacher, Owen. He died a few years ago, and I miss him a lot. And in this session, I was working with a partner, and we did some gibberish exercise, and he told us to express anger. And I was doing Osho stuff, and I was deep in the field, and I know how to express my anger, and I know how to play it in gibberish. And me and my partner really went for it, okay? And there was some kind of a relationship between us. So there was living anger there that it was not expressed this way, and I knew everything about embodied expression of emotions because I was doing this work, before. But I had no clue about the connection between embodied expression of emotions and sexuality. And we were sitting naked, just like me and you sitting now, and we both went for it, wild, angry, and in gibberish. And then he told us to stop, take a few breaths, breathe, and then they left, and we started kissing, me and my partner then, and touching. And it was the first time in my life that I felt any sexual sensations in my nipples. Okay, I was almost 30. Never before that I felt anything. And that was my deepest realization. Like everything made sense. Everything came to it was a huge aha moment for me. I realized that sexuality is a flow of energy. It's stuck by emotional, unexpressed energies, and this is where I'm going to take people. This is what I'm going to do. And it was so strong and so powerful. So I have the huge urge to heal couples. I think I'm going to come here next year in a year to do a couples retreat. And there's so many things to do, but the bottom line for me is to heal the core wound of the sense of belonging. This is what I want to, when we
don't belong. This feeling that we don't belong.
This core wound of neglecting, of rejection, of being neglected, of the sense that we don't belong. I think humanity is that's the biggest disease in the consciousness of humanity. Lack of sense of belonging.
Yeah, for me it all goes down to that piece we said before, that children are sacred and love naked and sinful. And so where do I belong? Where do I come from? I come from sexual activity. And yet if it's unspoken, I'm never gonna know where I belong. Where do I come from? Because it's rejected. But this story you said is so beautiful, and my heart feels really, really tender that the biggest transformation we live is where then becomes our teaching. For me too, the places where I had the biggest, deepest core transformation, it's where I like to take people with.
Yes, and this is where I can really radiate my power without doing anything.
Exactly.
That's just me. I am healed. I am healed, so therefore you can just stay in the light of this healing and Let's party, let's go have a beer together, you know.
Yeah.
Let's be simple with that.
So, and I want to ask you this question I ask all the guests of this podcast. Is life a dream, or dream help us to live better?
Is life a dream?
Or dream help us to live better?
Unfortunately, I am some kind of a shaman that don't have a dream life at all. I don't dream. I sleep, and like every morning, my fellow they dream. I don't dream. Is life a dream,
or dreams help us to live better?
I guess it's both. I believe in this and that, not this or that. Is life a dream? I don't know. If it's a dream, it's a damn good one. So I enjoy this dream.
It's an erotic dream.
It's an erotic, yeah. The wisdom of eroticism is just all over. Just all over, yeah.
And the birds are making
in
love.
Ecstasy. Everything is in ecstasy of eros. Life is an ecstasy of eros, and everything is so attracted to everything else. So we're just sitting in a huge container of ecstatic attraction, and so if life is a dream, it's a good one, and I'm happy to share some of it with you in this moment. Yeah. I do know that one of the powers I hold is dreaming, having a vision of doing something or being somewhere, and creating. So if dreams lead us to jump and then discover that it's not a dream, it's reality, creating a reality, then yeah, I'm a big dreamer.
So you're a lucid dreamer. You dream awake.
I dream awake.
When you are at night, you don't dream.
I don't dream.
You dream awake.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Osho said also he never had dream because he never lived anything unfulfilled.
Buddha also didn't dream. You know,
so
it's
you're
interesting.
living life to the fullest, and I can see it.
I'm a sorceress or a witch of matter, not spirit in some ways. So there's no separation, spirit and matter. But I create my magic in matter. You know, some people, if they want to send healing, they send it through the air. I send it through the earth. I go down under. My goddess, the goddess that is working with me, if we talk about maybe Priestess Sharon, so she's she's a Canaan Priestess. I'm a Canaan Priestess. My legacy is the ancient Kadhesha of the temple in Jerusalem. I have full-on memories of serving in the temples, sacred sexuality, the goddesses of the Middle East area. I was there, and I walked. I'm an Israeli, not just because I was born in Israel to a Jewish family. I'm an Israeli because this Canaan land she's my ancestor. She's my teacher. So the shamanism that I practice, my journey is back to the memories of the temples of Sacred Union in Jerusalem and on the Galilee where Jesus and the Magdalene made love.
Of course.
Yeah. So in this matter, the goddess of underwater is my spiritual guide. So wherever I travel in the world, I send my route to feel the underwater there. And the underwater work with me, the wisdom of underwater. So a lot of darkness, a lot of raw material, water that carry so much life, but also so much mystery. They guide me on my journey.
The moist comes to me.
Yes,
of the earth.
It's super dark and filtered because
And you feel moist, like if I had to describe your personality.
Yeah?
Yeah, in a beautiful way. Moist matter.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Wonderful.
so I live the mystery. My life is a dream, you know. I can.
So just tell us, if a listener wants to find out more about you, where can they find you? Have you got a website?
I actually don't have a website.
No?
No, and most of my work is in Israel and in Hebrew, but I do a lot of Easter trainings.
Okay.
I'm part of this crazy tribe. I'm super in love with the work this organism is spreading in the world, and I find it super potent.
I can put a link to Easter
International School of Temple Arts,
and people can find you through the website.
Yes, and we want to have South Africans with us. I love the South African spirit and yes, chutzpah. So I have a training in Turkey, Easter level 1, and in New York on September, and before that Finland, Austria. You know, I get to travel the world.
In New York, where do you do the training? In a city?
Outside the city. I'm not exactly clear where, but
that's in nature. Hey, it's always held in nature.
More or less, not like this. You know, not every place.
Here is amazing. It's stunning. This is
stunning.
The African landscape at its best.
So go to the Easter website,
and
International School of Temple.
And I will write on the description of this episode. I will write some links, so
and read the book Jump.
And read the book Jump, and you can find out of Sharon Priestess. Now you heard her voice. And thank you so much for taking the time off. This is our lunch break, actually. So I'm really honored that you took the time to sit with me and everybody that is listening.
Yeah. It's actually my birthday today.
We haven't said that.
So in our tradition, in a Jewish tradition, when it's your birthday, I have a lot of divine charge in me on the birthday, and like the charge of manifestation, spirit into matter, and the charge of the energy of fresh beginning.
Yes.
So this is the time where you can bless everybody with this charge.
Offer of yourself.
Offer myself.
Which is beautiful. Instead of receiving the gift,
both,
sitting back, you also want to receive
not
the
this
gift.
or that, both.
I
receive everything that
but
comes.
I like this charge. It's so true. Offer of yourself.
So I want to bless everybody that is listening. I want to bless you with magical life. And with embracing your power, and with finding your tribe. I bless you to find your tribe of people that will give you permission to be in your power, but then you will find that your joy in life is to be the one that gives permission. So we can all give permission to each other. Give permission to cut the bullshit, give permission to shine, and give permission to get together in such deep, deep connection. So I wish you a beautiful, sexy life. And I wish you to spend a lot of time naked in nature.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bottom line.
I think I should do all my podcasts naked. Yes. That is going to be the underlying signature.
And the naked truth.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I wish you so much blessing for your life and the work you're taking in the world, and for all that you are, the immensity of your being. That I see you, I truly see you, and it's a delight to watch you moving in the world.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I take it.
Ashe.
I breathe it. Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe. So I hope you enjoyed this wonderful conversation, and if you'd like to listen a little bit more, please click on the bonus episode where Priestess Sharon is giving us her insight and is educating us on enlightening throat orgasm for women. And I promise you want to listen to that. Just following this episode, click on the next bonus track and you shall have it. I love you.